So today we watched Certified Copy from 2010, written and directed by Abbas Kiarostami.
One of my favorite directors of all time.
Oh yeah, he's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest for sure.
It's so underrated, dude. Like if you talk about, we're talking about the iceberg of directors for cinephile. It's like
He's underneath the water.
bro, he's he's under Antonioni. He's under so many fucking people, but he's so good. Yeah, Certified Copy is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
love this movie so much.
Like, it kind of gave me a little bit of Before Sunset type of vibes.
Oh, very much so.
Like, it has that sort of feel to it where it's like two people in the day like walking and talking about like philosophy and art and like life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has that type of vibe to it. It kind of has that with Juliette Binoche and Abbas Kiarostami. I love Abbas Kiarostami. I like Where's a Friend's House a lot. I like Close Up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Taste of Cherry.
Yeah.
Very film school movie. I love that Abbas Kiarostami has his own distinct cinematic language.
Yeah.
When you see a movie by him, you can instantly tell, oh, that's a boss. The way he shoots cars, I think is very, very clever, and he's very artistic with how he shoots cars, whereas I feel like every other director, it's very regimented. It's very, get the shot in the car, that's it. Like, he really takes his time in there. He sets a whole scene up in there.
Yeah.
The trip is the destination,
Yeah.
And the way he's able to pull back the curtain on all, like most of his film, he pulls back the curtain of the making of the film. And the art of making the film becomes incorporated into the film itself.
Yeah.
In a very, very clever way. I don't think any other director is able to do it as seamlessly as him. It's not like Birdman, like on the nose, where it's like bending real. Like, it's like very genuine and very, patient with the audience, but it's slow and it's impactful. Whereas this story starts out one way, turns into a different story by the end, and even though it feels faked or what have you, you're not so sure as the audience, your emotional reaction that you have to it is genuine. And that's what I think is so clever about what he does in all of his films.
Yeah, he definitely has this own like perspective on stuff that you would have never thought of before, and I think that just comes from being Iranian, like learning languages, like your way of life is totally different from everywhere else. So when you approach film, it's going to be totally different from like anywhere else when it comes to film. Like, just like the time, space, and memory aspect of his films are just like these sort of like real time stories where it's never like, but the way he does the real time, it's always so interesting. It's not even like there's always like they go to a different conversation in the same scene to like, bridge the gap between like characters coming back and that like real time aspect. So like Victoria De Sica, Robert Bresson, fucking definitely like French New Wave, like Cleo from 5 to 7.
Yes.
Also like Where's a Friend's House?
So, and just the whole Coker trilogy.
Yeah.
It's so...
The way he uses time in it is...
Oh my God.
So
and
sick.
The way he pulls back the lens each time.
Yeah.
Of like, this is the reality, but you never actually see like the real Kiarostami. You see like the people he cast to play him in a set or something. It's crazy. He does it in close up too, masterfully. He does it in most of his, even in Taste of Cherry, dude. Where he starts to show like the crew and shit. Like, it's so good. This might be the tightest script I've seen from him. This is so good. The way he's able to craft his story, and the themes are always ever so present at the forefront of your mind. Of, Certified Copy implies that there's an original, and just because there's original, does that mean that the beauty of the original overshadows the artistic intention of the copy?
Yeah. Well, that's what the movie's about. Yeah.
It's exactly what the movie's about, and he flips that on the audience with what they're watching and what they're perceiving. And God, like he's so masterful at that. And there's a reason, like every time I see his movie, I'm like, man, fuck, I feel like I've been sleeping on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like a new discovery.
Yeah.
When you watch a
Yeah.
Abbas Kiarostami movie, he definitely bends the rules in his own way. Like he just there's a character. It's about a writer who comes to. Are they in? They're in Florence. Are they in Florence? Or are they somewhere else in Italy?
They're somewhere else in Italy.
They're somewhere in Italy, and he comes to give a talk about his book. It's a critique on art and talking about copies and originals, and also really reminded me of like F for Fake.
Yeah.
Too. It's kind of the similar like vibe about like if the fake is just as good as the original, is it the same or does it have to be because the artist made it or something something like that? And Juliette Binoche plays a like an antique store owner who like is gonna sit down with him like and listen to one of his talks, and then they start like talking and basically debating. Like she thinks that she has like some problems with the book, and he basically thinks that is like arguing that the original might be better, or like sorry, the copy might be better, right?
It's they kind of switch, right? So even though she's saying like, you know, in a sense, she's saying, why are you so hooked on the original? Why can't you just appreciate the copy? My sister is, in a way, like living her life, not caring about what's copy and what's original. She's caring about, you know, the enjoyment she gets out of it. It's not the knowledge of the thing or the whatever. It's the enjoyment you get out of it in the moment. And he's saying, no, there is intentionality. He, with his own book, he's trying to convince himself, is what he's saying. So he is arguing for originality. God, it's fucking confusing. I have to watch this movie like a couple more times.
No, it's like very like it's very like thorough, like philosophical about art. It's like very deep.
This is like what My Dinner with Andre is, but just way more entertaining. He goes they talk about so much more. They do so much more, but just like the camera and the film and whatnot. My Dinner with Andre is just shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse. Oh, they're in the mirror. Shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse. Fuck off, dude.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say, but definitely has that like F for Fake vibe. It's the subject about this movie is about art. Basically, you're following these two characters that just met each other, and then halfway through the movie, they do this like flip where you're like, wait, do they actually know each other? Like, oh, they're like married? Oh, like they have a kid together? And it just like flips the whole like movie, dude.
It flips your whole understanding of like what you're watching.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. You know, like you kind of like
no, not in a bad way. You're just like, this is trippy, and you're questioning.
Like, the thing is, like, if someone did that to me in like any other movie, I would be like, man, fuck you. If they're like
if you show this to someone who,
it's not like he pulled one over on you. It's like you're in on it.
Yeah.
But then like you get lulled into it too. You know what I mean? Like, because you're always in on the joke of like they're pretending this thing, but then what they're pretending becomes real. And
you
can't tell what's real and what's not real, and that's the genius of it, right?
Yeah,
it's like even though you can't tell, you're still emotionally impacted by this story, and you're compelled to keep watching. And fuck, dude, this is such a good movie, dude. I love this movie. I might actually like straight up buy it right now, dude.
Wow,
it's good. I love it.
Yeah, it was good to see it, and I think like people like if I showed this to like my family, they'd be like, that was like confusing. Like, what they were married or they weren't married, and then I would tell them like what you said about like no, it's about like they're doing a copy of like they're doing like a copy of what they're talking about before, but the thing is the whole thing is artifice, so it doesn't actually matter. Like the movie itself is not real in itself, so it's like, wait, so we don't know if that thing that happened in the movie is real. The whole thing is like not real. The artifice of them acting out what they were talking about and like that switch. But I could see like someone would be like my mom and like my stepdad would probably be like,
they'd be like, how stupid.
They'd be like, that was confusing. That doesn't make any sense. And I would try to explain it. And they'd be like, no, but like what? Like why would they have it like that? Like, but it is a flip on purpose.
It is.
But it's like a creative, artistic kind of decision.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think it's so so genuine with its intentions of the movie. I think that's key.
It's a vibe you have to tap into.
Mhm.
It's a vibe that we have to tap into. Like you can't just show this one to like some people. They're just not. Like we're going into it. We're like, oh, this is Abbas Kiarostami. Like we're gonna get like a piece of art that's like it's a different vibe that we knew what we're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a movie you go to see on the Friday night at the theaters at the Regal Cinemas.
No,
With
but
Danny
this
Trejo,
is what is this? This did really really good at Cannes or something like that. But I think it came out in 2010.
Yeah, so it's Abbas Kiarostami. He's a goat. He's one of the goats.
He is, dude.
Coming from Iran and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.